So, very welcome in our next live stream. We're doing this one in English. We are at the 4Gamechanger Festival, and with us are the both founders of Clover investment fund, Heinrich and Marlus. Thank you for your time and welcome in our live stream.
Thank you for having us.
Likewise, thank you for having us.
So let's talk about Clover, Heinrich. Maybe we'll start with you. You are like a star jury member in Austria 2 Minutes 2 Million show. So you hear startups pitch. Now let us hear you pitch. What is Clover?
Correct. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. On the other side of the curtain now for the second. Well, what is Clover? Clover is a unique investment fund into the stuff we like to invest, which is real stuff, which is tangible stuff. You know me from the show. We are not specializing in apps or cloud or tech. We do retail, we do food, we do tangible stuff, FMCG nowadays. So that's where we focus. This is where our blue ocean is. Because if you look at it, there is a lot of funds doing the other stuff. People who do what we do is relatively rare and seldom. So we are investing into startups, we are coaching them, mentoring them, and after 5 years, we exit. And that's probably in a nutshell what we're doing.
Okay, now we'll talk about how does it work in detail. You explained the big picture. I think you are in the midst of the raising, the current fund, and you finished already your legal registration. Maybe can you explain what's the current status of that?
Yeah, no, we've passed our proof of concept, so to say, with our first fund. So we are currently raising for our second fund, which is 10 million. And like Heinrich pointed out, we are still open and looking into the traditional sector. So anyone out there in the more real world where we live in, you can reach out to us for either investment or we're open for investors as well.
And legally the fund is already registered?
Yes, it is, to the AFM. Yeah.
And we are proud to say that we are one of 6 in the Netherlands, only 6 registered funds, and 60 in Europe, which is quite unique for a small little entity like ours.
Do you have maybe an information how many are there in Austria?
There is 4 in Austria and 6 in the Netherlands, a bit more in Germany. But it took us nearly a year to get all the registration done. It's quite a hassle. They are very diligent. In Austria, it's the FMA. In Holland, it's the AFM. They differ in the name, but they don't differ in being very, very tedious and very, very precise.
Cool. When talking about proof of concept with your first fund, do you have a figure on your mind? How many investments did you take? How many startups did you invest in?
Yeah, we invested into 16 entities with our first fund, and we're open to 20 to 25 entities we're going to invest with our second fund.
What is the general investment sum?
Approximately 200K.
Okay, Heinrich, how does it really work for the founder? Do you invest only cash or are there further benefits like your network and expertise?
Correct. That's, again, a difference we have towards other funds. As we are fully orientated on a predefined exit period, of course, we have to take the welfare of our partners very much into account, because if it doesn't work, we don't get any money. Meaning, our partners, our early stage companies, they get not only the money, but through the period we engage, so normally 5 years, a full profile-based coaching, you could say, but a lot of it will be specifically targeted to what they need. That can be procuring, that can be sourcing, that can be opening our retail network, because that's what we understand. That's where we are good at. We understand how retail works.
Okay, so you want to raise $10 million here, 10 million euros here. What's the time span for that?
The time span is 18 months. So we have 18 months to fill up the fund and also to find the right entities fit within our investment scope. So that's where we are right now. Yeah.
And how is it going? Is it difficult? Is it going well?
Well, so far we've been instrumental in doing this on our own. So we've raised the first 1.6 million. So that means that Heinrich and myself were quite successful, I think, together in raising the right funds. But yeah, still the challenge to meet the 10 million goal in the months still ahead of us.
Heinrich, who are your typical investors?
It's actually either the classical Austrian family office or the trusts, Stiftungen, but also educated, wealthy individuals. And we have quite some persons besides Mr. Hadelsteiner, who also is not only investing into a first fund, but also in our second fund. We have quite some high-level individuals who trust us with their money. And, of course, also our families are investing as well.
Cool. Now, can you explain the exit model? How does it work? I think you have a very special system here.
Correct. That is true. That's the other unique element of CC, as we call Clover. We go in with a certain percentage, say for the sake of the simplicity, we go in with 10% for 100,000 euros. And then after year 5, we take the year 5 times the 10%, depending if we are diluted or not, times 729. And for that amount, the founders have to buy our shares back in a put option, which we can, don't have to, but which we can pull. And the classical question will be,
what if they cannot afford to pay the money?
And that's the classical question also from the founders. And actually, if you look at it properly, you'll see that as long as the founders, that can be a singular person or the team of the founders, have 2.5 times the amount of shares in their possession, they'd be able to pay. Because as it's solely cash flow, EBITDA orientated, then they can pay.
Do you pay the whole cash investment at the beginning at once, or do you agree on some KPIs and milestones?
No, that's a very good question. That is what we do different. So we, for example, to take his example, we invest 100K for 10%. No, it's not true, 200K for 10%. And then we work towards that with milestones. So they get the first money, for the first 6 months according to their business plan. After 6 months, we review those. So if they didn't hit their certain milestones, then we have the chance to say, like, okay, you only get for another 3 months the money. See if you can hit your milestones in the next 3 months. If then not, we can take some money out or reinvest into other entities.
Now the fund is managed by you guys, the two of you. Yes. How do you ensure enough resources on the mentorship side of the startups? Do you have a network of further experts for that?
Yes, we do have a network of professionals or experts, we say, joining Clover. But what we do different, we listen to our startups, so the entities first. So we listen to their requirements. So, and the reason for this is you can have a lot of marketing managers, so to say, but the question always is like whether they are fit for the industry or the marketplace our entities are working in. So they can choose from the expert we are working with, but they can also let us search for the right people fit for their company.
Heinrich, how fast are you able to make the investment decision? Do you have a board that needs to approve it? How is that structured?
It works like this. We have, of course, any application goes through our filter, which we discussed previously. It's a deal matrix system, which works very well, very structured. After this, we rate it with our experts team. If the experts team approves it, then it goes into our investment board, where there is 3 votes in there. The manager cannot overrule the investment board. So if the investment board is in majority saying we're not investing, then it's not happening. To answer your question from start to finish, it takes approximately 3 months.
Okay, cool. It was very loud in the background, so I didn't hear everything you said, but I think it takes 3 months, and if necessary, there's a board that can still tell you not to invest. Okay. Is there a sourcing currently going on? Can startups apply for the program?
Absolutely, they should, and all the time. Please think, if you apply at Clover, where we focus on. So it does not make sense to send an app idea or a cloud idea or super tech. That's not where we focus on. There's other people like Speed Invest and Startup 300. We are the real guys, so to speak, investing into real stuff, and they are happy. Yes, please apply. Also take in consideration, we are not investing in startups. We are investing into early stage companies. So you should have some traction. You should have some turnover, proof of concept. But then please, yes, go ahead.
And which markets are you targeting? Is it Austria? Is it Europe?
Yes, of course, we're targeting Europe as a whole. Of course, leaning a lot into Western Europe, but we also look into the more CEE countries because we believe like there's more the neglected markets, in Eastern Europe. And we're focusing on retail, FMCG, like you rightfully said, manufacturer. Those are actually the focus points of Clever Clover.
Perfect. Guys, I think we explained this very well. Thank you so much for taking time for our interview. All the best with fundraising. I'm really, really excited to hear more from you, to hear success stories and investments. All the best. Thank you very much.
Cool stuff. And thank you, Luz. Thank you for being
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And guys, that was it for now. We are continuing with another startup in 2 minutes. Thanks for being with us. And that's it.